If everybody hears me and everybody can see the screen I'm sharing, everything is okay, even if I don't hear my host. Hello, everybody again. My name is Dorinel Patriche, and I will tell you a little bit about myself first. I am a Canadian of Romanian origin. I was born and raised in Romania, but for the last 30 years, I have lived in Canada. I am an electronics engineer. I studied industrial electronics with a minor in medical electronics. I have over 40 years of experience and a number of patents, both in Canada and Romania. I practice martial arts as a way of self-development at all levels, physical, mental, and spiritual. I have achieved the black belt level in a couple of different styles of karate. Over the years, I have taught children and teenagers as part of the YMCA program. In order to maintain my health, I practice energy healing arts like Qigong and Reiki. I also teach children and adults to do the same thing. Okay. I really believe that the future of medicine is energy healing, both in hands-on and equipment-assisted forms. I know that it can not only help to maintain health, but also help one to recover from an unhealthy state. As a result, I have become interested in research subjects like Nicola Tesla, scalar energy theory, Royal Rife mortar oscillation rate, and more recent advancement in bio-resonance and biofeedback. I started looking at equipment like Bicom and Hunter Metatron, but unfortunately, most of the equipment on the market was too expensive for personal use. A few years ago, I found out about Spooky2 equipment and about the noble intention of the company to make it available at an affordable price. I immediately bought and used Spooky2 Generator X, then Spooky2 Scalar, and later I have acquired the Spooky2 Central. I am happy with the investment of my health and well-being. My favorite of all is Spooky2 Scalar. I like it so much that I decided to share my experience with you tonight, and I hope by the end of my presentation you like it too. Let's see if every. Oh, okay. I'm trying to not to rock. I'm sorry. My favorite spooky. Okay. Let's do the next slide. Okay. Here it's a little bit of. Okay. About my background, and this presentation was built on the assumption that you have none or little knowledge on Spooky2 Scalar subject. Generally, when I'm presented with something new, I ask myself three questions. What exactly is this? How can I use this? And why would I use this? Everyone is probably asking themselves the same questions, consciously or not. I could replace this with any of the amazing pieces of energy healing equipment from Spooky2 family, like Rife generators and accessories, plasma units and tubes. However, in the following slides, I will try to answer this question in regards to the Spooky2 scalar equipment. Let's start with the first question. What is Spooky2 scalar? In the image, you can see a box labeled Spooky2 scalar. Before we could answer the main question, what is Spooky2 scalar, we have to answer two other questions. What exactly is Spooky2 and what does scalar mean? Let's answer them one by one. Albert Einstein made this word famous when he referred to particle quantum entanglement as spooky action at a distance. From then on, in the science world, it became synonymous to something strange, bizarre, uncommon, not enough studied, inexplicable yet, or even inconceivable. In 2013, an international team of electronics engineers, technical designers, software developers, and Rife practitioners chose this name for their range of experimental energy healing devices to reflect exactly these characteristics: something new, unusual, unfamiliar, not widely known, and not broadly accepted by the mainstream science. Something I need to mention at this point is that the 2 after the spooky refers to squared, not to a version of the software or the hardware. Okay, let's try to answer the second question. What is scalar? Scalar energy was discovered many years ago, but since then has been largely ignored. Even today, scalar energy is underevaluated and underused in our daily life. In this slide, you can see a few of the scientists that had the most important contributions to this field. James Clerk Maxwell, a Scottish scientist, formulated the theories of electromagnetic radiation and electromagnetic and magnetic scalar potential in 1860s. Unfortunately, for a long period of time, the scalar aspect of his equations was neglected, being considered both insignificant and useless. Nicola Tesla, a Serbian-American inventor, electrical and mechanical engineer, proved for the first time the existence of scalar waves in 1899. Because of this, he is considered the father of scalar energy. Albert Einstein, the famous German-American scientist, also wrote papers on the topic of scalar waves in 1920s, applied to the gravitational field. In recent times, Professor Dr. Engineer Konstantin Meil, a German scientist, has also studied scalar waves in his vortex theory. There are many other scientists interested in this field. Recently, I read a paper by Shifu Karega regarding the scalar magnetic waves and Qi, based on the research of Professor Meil. In the image, you have a simple exemplification of the two different types of waves: transverse waves and longitudinal waves. At the top, you have a rope that is tied on a fixed point and it's shaked up and down. That creates transverse waves in the rope. Transverse or vectorial waves oscillate, as you can see, perpendicularly on the direction of propagation. So, I don't know if you see my pointer. This is the direction of propagation. This is the way the rope oscillates. At the bottom here, there is a spring or a slinky attached to a fixed point and is rapidly pulled away this way. This creates longitudinal waves in the spring. Longitudinal or scalar wave oscillate, like in this example, on the direction of propagation. So these are the oscillation, and this is also the direction of propagation. In the image on the left, you have the propagation mode of the transverse and longitudinal electromagnetic waves. Without being a scientist, you can tell they are quite different. So what are the properties of the scalar waves that make them so different? They do not radiate as waves but expand outward in circles of energy. They do not decay over time or distance from their source. They are unbound and capable of passing through any solid matter. They have the capacity to carry information. Unfortunately, they cannot be measured by modern-day instruments, which are designed for transverse waves, but their effects can be observed. Scalar energy happens naturally, but also can be created artificially by man. Oh, volume is a bit low. Okay. I don't think I can do something about the volume. Now that we know the meaning of both the strange words, okay, let me go to the next one. We can go back and answer our main question. What is Spooky2 Scalar? Spooky2 Scalar is a new addition to the family of energy healing devices from Spooky2 team dated 2018. As you can see in the image, it consists of two units of similar size and shape, one labeled transmitters, here on the left, and the other one labeled receiver. They come with a link cable here and the power adapter. Spooky2 Scalar generates a scalar field between the leads of the two units. These scalar fields have been demonstrated to have a life-sustaining quality. It is beneficial to humans, animals, and plants. Now that we know what Spooky2 Scalar is, let's try to understand how it is working and how we can use it. In the image, we have the two antennas. You have here one and here the second, labeled transmitter and receiver. They are identical, they are parallel with each other and facing each other, like that. Between them, we can see the scalar field, and let's see how it's created. The transmitter generates a single signal, a sine signal, in the range of 5 to 8 megahertz, and it sends it to the receiver through one wire. Here you can see it. The receiver inverts the signal because it's facing the transmitter and sends it back. The two electromagnetic signals cancel each other, leaving only the scalar field in the space between the antennae. Since there is only one wire between the two units, the scalar field ensures the return path for the signal. The scalar field is oval-shaped, like an American football or rugby ball. The field produced by Spooky2 Scalar is strong and the effects are measurable. It uses analog circuitry to ensure a pure sine signal. Let's see how the scalar field is working. We'll see a little video clip that will make analogy with the mechanical phenomenon. You'll see how two equal and opposing water jets will generate a pattern similar to the scalar field.
When you get done with a shot, it looks like you're growing your own organs in an aquarium. God. Oh, I triggered on that. So this is what? This is round how many? 5? 4? 7? We are refilling the tank for the 100-something time. I'll show to the doctor. It's going to work. That is going to work. Oh. I think today might be the day. Got the secondaries. Look at those, man. Wow.
Okay, as you could see, if the two water jets are not exactly equal and exactly opposing each other, the pattern does not appear. The same thing is valid for the signals emitted from the transmitter and receiver antenna. The signal generated by the Spooky2 transmitter can be used as it is or frequency modulated using low or high frequencies. This gives us 4 different modes the Spooky2 scalar can be used in: pure scalar mode, molecular scalar mode, Rife scalar mode, and audio scalar mode. In fact, the molecular and Rife scalar, as well as molecular and audio scalar modes, can be combined to further enhance the effects of the scalar field. Let's analyze them one at a time. A pure scalar mode is the simplest way to benefit the scalar energy. The unit can be used by itself. It doesn't require anything else in order to be efficient. This is usually the first mode any new user is trying before going further and trying the other 3 modes. We have to be careful about a few things. It's best not to share the scalar field with anyone who has a serious illness. Pregnant women are not advised to use Spooky2 scalar because there isn't enough research on this. People that have a pacemaker should not use Spooky2 scalar. The pacemaker and other sensitive devices may be influenced by the scalar field. Let's see now how we can use Spooky2 scalar in pure scalar mode. Place the transmitter and the receiver on either side of the chair or bed. Lie or sit between the 2 leads and enjoy the health benefit of the scalar energy. Let's take a closer look at the 2 boxes. As you can see in the top image, the transmitter has an LCD display. Let's see it here. 3 connectors here, the link cable port, the power port, and the optional generator port. Has a tuning adjustment knob, has a little tuning light here, and the transmitter coil, which is the output coil of the system. And of course, there is an on-off switch. In the bottom image, you can see the receiver. This one is much simpler, has only a link cable port, has the confirmation button and light, has the input coil, yep, which is the receiver coil, and Also 2 storage spaces for the link cable and for the power adapter. In this video, I will explain everything you need to do in order to use Spooky2 Scalar in pure scalar mode. Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how to set up and tune Spooky2 Scalar. First, the setup. Place the transmitter and the receiver on either side of a chair or a bed with the leads facing each other. The minimum recommended distance between the two units is 6 feet or 2 meters, but you can place them farther apart. For demonstration purpose only, in this video they are placed closer together. Connect the power adapter to the power port of the transmitter and plug it into the outlet. Plug one end of the link cable in the link port of the transmitter and the other end in the link port of the receiver. That's all the necessary setup. Now we have to do the tuning. Turn on the transmitter by rotating clockwise the switch knob. Then tune the transmitter by rotating counterclockwise the tuning adjustment knob till the tuning light reaches the maximum luminosity. This is the scalar tuning point that you need to create a healing scalar field. The frequency of the transmitter generators is shown on the display. The scalar tuning point has a broad range of frequency and depends on the environment and the layout of the units and cable between them. In this case, it's 6 MHz, but it could be anywhere between 5 and 8 MHz. If you continue to turn the tuning knob counterclockwise after reaching the scalar tuning point, the tuning light will start diminishing and then will reach a second maximum brightness point. This lower frequency maximum is the EMF tuning point that creates a harmful electromagnetic field. You must always look for the first tuning point each time you use Spooky2 Scalar. If you want to verify the presence of the scalar field, you can press the button on the receiver. A ring of light will appear around the button. Make sure you press the button again to turn off the light. If you leave it on, it will reduce the power of the scalar field. Now, all you have to do is lie down or sit in the scalar field and enjoy the healing energy. Thank you for watching this video. As one of the users put it, using Spooky2 Scalar is as hard as using your radio in a car, as you could see it. Hello everyone. Okay, let's talk about some details regarding the scalar field. Make sure the two leads are facing each other as parallel as possible. It will work even if the leads are not perfectly parallel, but the scalar field will be slightly weaker and it will not have a perfect oval shape. The minimum distance recommended between the two leads is 6 feet or 2 meters, but you can place them much farther apart. Maintain a minimum 1.5 to 2 feet from the transmitter and 1 foot from the receiver in order to minimize the EMF effect. Make sure your body is centered as much as possible with the two devices in order to maximize the effect of the scalar field on your body. If the sublight link cable is too long for your intended application, make sure you don't coil it, like here, leave it loose. If the cable is too short, you can use an scalar link cable extension and an extended link cables. Ensure that the link cable is not in the scalar field and is far from metals and concrete walls. This may reduce the power of the scalar field. As you can see in the image on the left, the width of the scalar field is a half of the distance between the units. You have here 3 feet and you have here 6 feet. Most of the people place the boxes on each side of the bed, centered with the middle of the body or with the area of the body that needs more healing energy. You can see this type of placement in the image at the top right. Yeah. In the image of the bottom right, here, you have the most advantageous placement with the boxes at the head and the feet, but this requires that the bed is not placed as usual by the wall. Alternatively, you can place the box in the adjacent room in the direction of the headboard of the bed, but only if the wall is not concrete with metal reinforcement. The healing effect of the scalar signal can be enhanced by placing a substance on the receiver coil, which is the input coil, as you can see in the image. You can see here we place an essential oil on the receiver plate. The molecules within the sample will modulate the signal between the two leads. This way, you get the curative effect of the chemical without physically taking the substance. The substance can be essential oil, homeopathic remedies, natural supplements, or drugs. For instance, you can place peppermint oil on the receiver coil and you receive the benefits that peppermint oil provides. The procedure for molecular scalar mode is identical with the one for pure scalar mode that you have already seen. One recommendation: perform the tuning with the sample already on the receiver coil. In case you added the sample after the tuning was done, it is better to retune the system since the sample slightly modified the tuning frequency. Okay. Another way to use molecular scalar mode is by placing on a receiver coil or a sample of a sample here. Okay, come on. Of the poison pathogen or tumor cells. Like in the healing mode, the molecules within the sample will modulate the signal between the two leads, and this information of the dying cells is passed to the internal pathogen or cancer cell, which will also die. This method was validated scientifically in 2018 by a group of doctors and biologists. Another way to enhance the healing effect of scalar waves is Rife modulation. This method combines Royal Rife's discovery with Nikola Tesla's. Royal Rife found that pathogen responds to a particular frequency he named it mortal oscillation rate or MOR. Spooky2 scalar can apply this frequency using healing scalar waves. These methods turn Spooky2 scalar into the world's most advanced Rife machine. Only Spooky2 scalar can modulate Royal Rife's original frequencies. In order to do this, you use the scalar with one of the Spooky2 generator, either generator X or XM generator. In the image on the left, here, you can see the generator X between the two boxes. Before connecting the XM generator, let's take a closer look at it. Originally, the XM generator had the capability to be used in standalone mode, which means without being connected to a computer. In this mode, we can control the output with the buttons situated next to the display. These buttons are the power switch, it's on the side here, the function buttons F1 to F5, the rotary knob, the TTL input output, the external input, and the channel controls here. While all these buttons are useful in research mode, they are impractical for our applications. So, except for the power switch, this one here, please do not touch the controls. Spooky2 software does everything you need for you. Let's take a closer look now at the Generator X. The latest Pro version has an identical structure. As I said before, the Generator X has the capability to be used in standalone mode, which means without being connected to a computer. In this mode, we need to control it with the buttons situated next to the display. All these buttons here. These buttons are the power button, the switch that selects between toggle between generator 1 and generator 2, the up and down arrows that are used to select the program, the start button, the loop button, and the stop button. Later I will show you how to use these controls. One of the advantages of Generator X is that it can be used in two different ways. In standalone mode, when the generator can run independently a program previously loaded from a computer, and in computer-assisted mode, when the generator runs a program that is supplied by the computer and the Spooky2 software. Each mode has its own advantages and disadvantages. The standalone mode has the advantages that has a simpler setup, requires less space, and frees your PC for other uses during the healing sessions. But it has some limitations. Had a limited number of programs, 30 programs, that you can store in the internal memory. Another limitation is that some more advanced programs that require continuous calculation can be run in standalone mode. They have to be assisted by the computer. In contrast with this, the biggest advantage of the computer-assisted mode is the fact that you can use any of the Spooky2 generators, the XM generator, the Generator X, or the Generator X Pro. As you can hear, the other advantage of the computer-assisted mode are actually the disadvantages of standalone mode. You can run an unlimited number of programs, and all the programs can be run from the generator when connected to a computer, desktop or laptop. Of course, this comes with some disadvantages. There is a slightly more complicated setup, requires more space, and blocks the PC for this application during the healing session. In this video, I will show you how to use Spooky2 Generator X in standalone mode in order to create a scalar field modulated with a Rife frequency. Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how to set up Spooky2 Scalar in Rife Scalar mode using a Generator X in standalone mode. First, you have to set up Spooky2 Scalar in pure scalar mode, the way I have already showed you in a previous video. Then place the Generator X close enough to the Spooky2 transmitter in order to be able to connect them, but make sure it is not in the scalar field. Connect the power adapter to the power port of Generator X and plug it into the outlet. Plug one end of the BNC cable into the out one of G1 and the other end into the BNC port of the Spooky2 scalar transmitter. That's all the necessary setup. Now you have to turn on Spooky2 and do the tuning of Spooky2 scalar as we did it in case of pure scalar mode. Then turn on the transmitter by pressing the power button. Select the desired generator, G1 in this case. Use the up and down arrows to select one of the programs already saved in Generator X. Then press the Start button once to get G1 ready. Press the Start button a second time to run the program once, or press the Loop button to run the programs continuously until you stop it. If the programs contain low frequency like this one, 5.9 Hz, you will notice that the tuning light of the Spooky2 scalar is blinking. At higher frequencies, there will be no blinking. Now all you need to do is lie down or sit in the scalar field and enjoy the Rife scalar healing energy. Thank you for watching this video. Okay, as you can see in the image, in order to create a Rife scalar field using a generator in computer-assisted mode, you need the following components. You need the two boxes, the receiver and the transmitter. You need one of the generators. In the image you have the generator X, but you can use the XM generator or the latest version generator X Pro. And the computer, in this case a laptop. In this video I will show you how to use the generator X in computer-assisted mode in order to create a scalar field modulated with a Rife frequency. Hello everyone. In this video I will show you how to use Spooky2 scalar in Rife scalar mode using a generator and Spooky2 software. For this you can use any of the two Spooky2 generators, but in this video I will use generator X. First, you have to set up Spooky2 scalar in Rife scalar mode the way I have already showed you in the previous video. The only difference is that you will have to place the computer, a laptop in this case, close to generator X and connect them using the supplied USB cable. Make sure that neither the laptop nor the generator is in the scalar field. Once everything is set in place, turn on and tune the Spooky2 scalar and turn on generator X. At this point, launch the Spooky2 software. Usually it takes a little while to search for generators, to load the database and the encyclopedia. On my computer it takes about 1 minute, but it could take several minutes on a different computer. The Spooky2 software opens in the Presets tab. The first thing you will need to do is to go to the Control tab and verify that the software recognized your generator. In this case, because generator X is a dual generator, the software recognized two generators and assigned them the port number 3 and number 4. Since you have connected the out1 of G1 generator to the Spooky2 scalar, you will have to check the port number of that generator on generator X display. In this case, as you can see, is port number 4. Also, you may notice that the network sign highlighted with an ellipse is white, which means that the generator X is connected to the computer and it is recognized by the Spooky2 software. Now let's go back to the software. Go to Presets tab and choose a preset. For example, you can go to Heal, Scalar, and select Spooky Scalar Healing SS-JW. Then click the arrow down to add it to the preset chain. Since the preset contains already programs, when you go to the Programs tab, you can see them in the Loaded Programs window. You don't need to do anything here. However, you may notice that the repeat chain value is set to 0. This means that the chain will repeat itself indefinitely. Because this preset is made especially for Spooky2 Scalar, you do not need to modify anything in the Settings tab either. You go to the Control tab, click Override Generators, and select Generator button number 4. The button changes its color to brown. Also, you can see all the frequencies of the program in the Frequencies window. Finally, you click Start, Generator buttons becomes green, and you can follow the progress of the program in percentage under the number of the generator's port. You can pause or stop the program at any point by clicking the appropriate button. When the program finishes to run the last frequency, it jumps back to the first frequency and continues to run. You can stop it at any time by clicking the stop button. The generator buttons becomes brown again. Let's see now what you can do in case you want to run a preset that doesn't come preloaded with the software. You go to Presets tab and choose Shell Empty Presets, Scalar, Spooky Scalar General SS-JW. As you can see, there aren't any programs in this preset, so you have to add your own program. Go to the Programs tab and choose a program. For example, you type chakra in the search box and click Search button. In the list of programs that appears, you select the Chakra Balance program. You can click on the plus button, or you can double-click on the program to add it to the Loaded Programs window. If you want to loop the program indefinitely, you set the repeat sequence to 0. If not, you leave it 1. If we go back to the Presets tab, you will notice that the program was loaded in the empty preset. Since this empty preset was created specifically for Spooky2 Scalar, you do not need to modify anything in the Settings tab. You go directly to the Control tab, click Override Generators, and then select Generators number 4. The Generator button becomes brown like before. As before, you can see all the frequencies in the programs in the Frequencies window. Then you click Start and the Generator button becomes green. As in the previous case, you can pause the program or you can stop it at any time by clicking the appropriate button. The program will run each frequency for 3 minutes. When the program finishes to run the last frequency, it will stop by itself. The generator button will become brown again. Now all you need to do is lie down or sit in the scalar field and enjoy the Rife scalar healing energy. Thank you for watching this video. Hello. Okay, let's go further. The audio scalar mode is the newest way to enhance the healing effects of the scalar waves by modulating them with healing audio frequencies. Until now, only individual frequencies could be applied using the modulation port. However, with the help of scalar harmony, multiple frequencies can be blended together in harmony with the scalar field. Scalar harmony uses the receiver input coil in order to modulate the scalar energy with the audio frequencies. You can see it here. The system has been designed so it can be used with multiple audio sources like phones, tablets, laptops, or amplifiers. Similar to Rife scalar mode, the audio scalar mode can be combined with the molecular scalar mode. Scalar harmony has a built-in molecular modulation. You can see here this holder here, circular holder there. You can place a glass of containing a few drops of essential oil in the round holder and enjoy the benefits in conjunction with the audio frequencies. Let's get familiar with the Spooky2 harmony. In these images, you can see the different components of the system. Here you have a top view, side view, and the rear view of the harmony. There is a coil here that is placed over the receiver's coil, and there is a molecular scalar input holder here that holds substances. In the handle, you can see the test speakers, the audio test switch, and in the back you can see the 3.5 millimeter input port. Of course, the system comes with an audio cable necessary to connect all the different audio sources. As you can see in the image on the right, the audio cables has multiple inputs. Lightning cable audio for iPhones, this one. You have the USB Type-C audio for Android phones. You have the 3.5 input jack, which can be used for mindful audio, cell phones, MP3 players, computers, laptops, and etc. And also you have an RCA general audio connector here. The output of the cable, it's a 3.5 millimeter plug that is connected to scalar harmony. In the images at the left, you can see the harmony here and the different sources of frequency. This one, it's a Frequency Hills Mindful Player. You have here an iPhone, and you have here an Android phone, or the other way. No, I think this is the iPhone by the connector. Okay. The audio scalar mode can be combined with the molecular scalar mode, similar to the Rife scalar mode. Scalar harmony has the molecular modulation built in the handle. You can see here. By placing a substance on the input coil, the molecules within the sample will also modulate the scalar field. This way, one can benefit from both the curative effect of the substance placed on the input and the healing effect of the audio frequencies supplied by the source. Now that you can saw all the four modes in which you can use the scalar energy, I will show you another possible use. You can further enhance the effects of the scalar treatment by imprinting a glass of water with molecular, Rife, or audio frequencies. This type of water is called energized, structured, or activated water. In order to do this, you place a glass of water on the transmitter coil, which is the output coil, during any of the four modes: pure, molecular, Rife, or audio scalar treatments. After you place the glass on the transmitter coil, you need to retune the Spooky2 scalar before the treatment, because the addition of any element in the scalar field will change the tuning frequency. When you finish the scalar treatment, you can drink this water throughout the day to enhance the effects of the treatment. Do not share the water with anyone else. If you wish to gift somebody else with frequency imprinted water, you must go through the process in an empty scalar field, nobody inside the field. Now we know about Spooky2 Scalar and we know how we can use it. And let's see why would somebody use Spooky2 Scalar. Some of the main benefits of the scalar field on the human body are: it charges the mitochondria, the energy center of our body cells, which increases the energy level of every cell in the body to the ideal 70 millivolts necessary to mitosis, boosts the overall energy level of the body. It protects the DNA by increasing the energy level of hydrogen bonding between the complementary base pairs, which provides greater stability to DNA structure. In turn, this will slow down the aging process and it will help with the recovery after trauma and accidents. It stimulates cell growth in human immune system, stimulates our natural immune function to kill viruses and bacteria, and also protects our body from cancer, things of this type. Improve cell wall permeability, which will facilitate the intake of the nutrients and also will facilitate the elimination of waste and toxins. Improves the chylomicron level in blood serum that increases the fluidity of the blood. This cleanses the blood, unclams blood cells, and improves the blood circulation. It supports the communication between cells, improves memory and mental focus, reduces stress and functions as a natural antidepressant. And note in the last, restores the natural healthy state of the body, reduces pain and inflammation, speeds up the natural healing and recovery process after diseases, surgeries, injuries. There are many other benefits that derive from these many ones. For example, the fact that unclams blood cells will reduce the risk of stroke. There is a number of scientific studies that research the influence of the scalar field on human health in the last 3 decades. For example, there is a 1989 Stanford University Medical Center study on the effect of non-Hertzian scalar waves on the immune system. There is a 2001-2003 study by Masaru Emoto with Robert Lloyd and Helena Reilly on scalar field structured water. We are talking about imprinting the water with frequencies. There is a 2012 Konstantin Mail study about DNA and cell resonance. Magnetic scalar waves enable cell communication. And this cell communication can be explained, he explained them by field physics. In 2018, Institute of Cell Biology in Europe, a group of specialists in medicine, microbiology, genetics, and quantum physics have studied the effects of scalar field on cancer. The first phase of the study spanned over 3 months and used the Spooky2 scalar equipment. The aim of the study was to establish if it is possible to kill cancer cells using a predetermined resonant frequency and scalar energy waves. The study concluded that after an exposure to the scalar field for hours or days in some cases, a significant inhibition on the cancer cells occurred regardless the method applied. Let's take a look at the place of the Spooky2 scalar in the family of Spooky2 energy healing devices. Spooky2 family contains two different types of technology and a few different ways to apply them. The first technology is Rife. In order to use this technology that can do two things, as I said, they can kill pathogens and cancerous cells using the mortal oscillation rate, or can bring back to health an unhealthy cell or tissue or organ. You can use two different generators. You can use the XM generator, the older version, or the newer version, Generator X and Generator X Pro. In order to utilize one of those generators, you need either a Spooky2 Boost or a Spooky Plasma or Central. If you use Spooky2 Boost, you can attach to it any of the four available um, accessories. You have the contact accessory, you have the PMF or pulse electromagnetic field, you have the cold laser, and you have the remote. All these can work with both generators using the boost. Other way to use the Rife technology is with the help of Spooky2 Plasma or Central, yeah, and the plasma tube. This is the way Rife himself used this technology to heal 16 cancer patients in 1932, and is by far the most efficient. The other technology is Tesla's scalar technology used by Spooky2 Scalar. As I have already explained, this device uses a scalar field that has a life-sustaining quality by itself when used in pure scalar mode. You have already seen that this field can be enhanced further by using a molecular modulation, an Rife modulation, or an audio scalar. If you use the Rife modulation, you get the best of both worlds, Rife and Tesla. The most relevant difference between the two technologies is that while the former is targeting a specific health problem, the latter is helping the body to heal in its totality. People who benefit most from the use of Spooky2 Scalar are those with severe health problems. Some people fight for their life because of the life-threatening disease like cancer. Other people are fighting debilitating diseases like Morgellons, Lyme disease, or multiple sclerosis. Others are constantly struggling with chronic diseases like diabetes, congestive cardiac failure, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and others. Occasionally, people are affected by a cold, influenza, or SARS contamination. Some of the times, they are subject to pathogen infestation like candida or mold. Nowadays, a lot of people have allergies, not only to specific food, but also to allergens that they can't avoid in the air. All these conditions can be reduced or even eliminated using Spooky2 Scalar. Let's see what some users are saying about Spooky2 Scalar. My little aches and pains have gone. My blood pressure is down by about 10 to 15 points. 7 years of toenail fungus was gone by using Spooky2 Scalar. I had an infection in my tooth and jawbone. It cleared up. The severe pain caused by the facial neuralgia disappeared. My mom has stage 4 cancer and her pH level went up after using molecular scalar for 1 day. I was able to reduce a tumor in my saliva gland by at least 90%. I had the blood test and the brain scan. There was no indication of cancer. After the third week of the treatment, she went to the hospital. She's talking about her mother for a pre-screening stuff. The staff became nervous, did not find any tumor anymore. So, as one of the users said, this is not imagination, but of course, a positive attitude can help. However, most people do not have major health problems, but minor health issues are inevitable. We are under constant attack from our environment. Our food, water, air can contain toxic substances and pathogens. So, detoxing is something that healthy, conscious people should do on a regular basis. Age can come with some common problems like vision and hearing deterioration or hair loss. These are things that can be corrected in time by using Spooky2 Scalar in all three modes. The young and the older alike are exposed to both to tooth and gum decay. The health of our mouth is of high importance for the health of our entire body. This can be helped too with scalar technology. Middle-aged people are prone to chronic sleep deprivation, mostly because of the stress at work and/or at home. A lot of people find a solution by using Spooky2 Scalar. There are many other minor problems that can be prevented by using Spooky2 Scalar. It is like giving a glass of water to somebody walking into the desert. Let's see what some other user of Spooky2 Scalars have to say. I feel better, get up with more energy, have more energy during the day, and a better attitude. Fingernails grow very fast, which is a sign of health. My fingernails seem stronger. Our hair is returning darker again. My hair seems to be growing faster. I feel more supple again, like I used to. A number of people have told me I look much younger. The age spots on my arms and hands have all gone away. We reuse the same vitamins, drugs, herbs, etc. over and over by imprinting water. My hearing has improved. Every time I'm in the field, I get very sleepy. If you don't have any health problem, you can still use Spooky2 Scalar for prevention. On one hand, our food, water, air do not have all the nutritional qualities and energy we need. And on the other hand, we are exposed to a high level of stress and emotional trauma daily. In the process, we divert a part of our energy to fight all these battles, and we allocate less energy to the maintenance programs, like healing minor battles with pathogens. A little boost of life-sustaining energy would be able to compensate for this. People can use for prevention Rife and audio scalar mode, using chakra balancing or meridian stimulation programs. Also, organ entrainment programs provide a healthy frequency for any of the organs to improve their health. People can also use either Rife or molecular scalar modes to supply their body with benefits of minerals, vitamins, or supplements the body needs. Now I will talk a little bit about my own experience with Spooky2 Scalar. The reason I bought Spooky2 Scalar 2 years ago was prevention. I studied first in what we call the healing room, where you have a massage table. Both my wife and myself were using Spooky2 Scalar for at least 1 hour a day, but occasionally we were remaining in the scalar field up to 4 hours. At first, we used it only in pure scalar mode, the simplest mode. Since I am a Qigong practitioner and a Reiki master, I am very sensitive to Qi, the life force energy. I try to see if I can feel the scalar field with my bare hands, and to my satisfaction I did. More than this, I was able to confirm the size of the scalar field at the center. When I lay in the field, I felt all my body vibrating. The sensation was similar with the one during a Reiki session, only stronger. I tried to practice internal Qigong, and again I felt the energy more powerful than during a regular practice. I am also entering a meditative state more easily when I'm in the scalar field. Because of those powerful sensations, I could not sleep in the scalar field, at least at the beginning. On the other hand, my wife loves to sleep in the scalar field. She sleeps better and she wakes up more energized. We then started to use Spooky2 scalar in molecular scalar mode. We used essential oils, vitamins, supplements on the receiver coil. We usually put a bottle of filled water on the transmitter's coil and we drink it during the day. A year ago, my wife had an accident. At that moment, we moved the Spooky2 scalar to our bedroom, so she could be in a scalar field 24 hours, 7 days a week. At the beginning, I couldn't fall asleep, but after a week, I got used to the field and I started to sleep well in the field. Both my wife and myself were sleeping less, but we were feeling more energized. At that time, we started to use Spooky2 scalar in Rife mode. We use the generator X in standalone mode and programs for general healing and micronutrients. We also use the Spooky2 plasma phanatron tube once or twice a day and the remote. The result was that after 6 weeks, the doctor said that the fracture was healed 2 weeks faster than the average expectancy. After that, we moved the scalar in the living room where we spend a lot of time, at least my wife. Here we use it in all 4 modes, and recently we have experimented with the audio mode. As I do not have any significant medical problem, I haven't had any spectacular results by myself after using Spooky2 scalar. What my wife and I noticed though is that our nails grow faster and stronger, our hair grows faster and darker, both signs of improved health according to the traditional Chinese medicine. Our optometrist was very pleased at the last annual visit with the state of our eye health. We are both more energized. We noticed that some age spots on the hands faded or disappeared. Some of our friends that we see once in a while have told us that we look younger. Occasionally, we use all the scalar modes and the structured water to help our children and our grandchildren. As I have already told you in the beginning, my wife and I are doing a lot of things to maintain and improve our health. We are sure that the daily use of Spooky2 scalar is one of the best ways to help us maintain our health. Now is the Q&A session. Somebody said that if after a presentation there aren't any questions, there are 2 possible explanations. Either everybody understood everything or nobody understood anything. I hope it is not the case. Before answering your question, let's take a look at some of the common questions regarding the Spooky2 scalar that we have encountered in the past. Can Spooky2 scalar be used for people with metal implants or stents in the veins? The answer is yes. Spooky2 scalar will not interfere with any metal implants since the scalar field passes straight to the metal without being affected. It can also be used for people with stents in the veins. Another question, can I work on my computer or I use phone while staying in the scalar field? Again, the answer is yes, but you may need to retune the units. Any device added in the field will alter the tuning point. So do the tuning with all the devices you need in the field. Uh, my advice is try to not use any equipment, at least for a little bit, when you are staying in the scalar field. Uh, this is the best way you can help your body. Let your body to do the healing. Do not concentrate on anything else, not work, not news, information, or other things. Just relax. If you can do meditate or use some energy healing like Reiki and Qigong, and stay in the field. This will give your body a lot of energy, and your body will be able to use it uh, for your health. Another question, can scalar field eliminate the EMF radiations? The answer is no, but the scalar field will support our bodies to reduce or eliminate the harmful effect of the electromagnetic radiations on our body. Question, why does the tuning light on the transmitter blink when running programs in Rife scalar mode? The answer is the generator frequency turns on and off the scalar signal. The eyes can perceive the blinks only at low frequencies in the range of a few hertz, like Schumann 7.83 or the test frequency that the generator used for hertz. At frequencies over 24 hertz, which if you remember is the frequencies of the movie frames, the eye can't perceive the flickering of the light anymore. Question, can I run another program on remote while staying in the scalar field? Of course, you can run any other program on remote, PMF, or call laser while staying in a scalar field. Some more question and answer. Can Spooky2 scalar virtually touch the wall? Yes, as long as the open side of the box, not the leads, faces the wall and is not a metal wall. Any big piece of metal in the proximity of the lead will affect the resonance frequency and the intensity of the field. Can I be in the scalar field while imprinting frequencies into water? Yes, if you are doing it for yourself. The water will be tailor-made for you since it also contains the natural frequencies of your body and the effect that the scalar field had on it. No, if you are intending to give the imprinting water to somebody else. Another question, what kind of containers should I use for imprinting water? Glass or ceramic are the best containers for the water that needs to be imprinted. What kind of container should I use for molecular samples? Again, I prefer transparent glass, not crystal. Crystal contains up to 24% lead, and it will transmit that information to your body. Also ceramic. However, experiments were made with cancerous cells placed in plastic containers, and the experiments were successful. So it looks like doesn't have so much importance. Anyway, my advice stays use glass or ceramic. Another question, and the last one, is it possible to send voice via Spooky2 Harmony? Yes, you need to record the voice and then use the audio source to input the harmony. So these are some of the uh, questions that we faced in the past, and we try to answer them before you are asking again the same questions. Uh, Now, if you have any question, this is the time when I will try to answer them. But before that, I want um to show you something else. Uh, I try to present the basic information about this amazing device, Spooky2 Scalar. There is much more to learn about it. And if you wish to go deeper into the subject, you have to study it. Here are a list of web pages where you can find more information about Spooky2 Scalar on the left. And on the right side, you have a number of Spooky2 groups on Facebook that are dedicated to helping other people with the technical aspects of Spooky2 equipment. And after consulting all this wealth of information, you still have questions, you can contact me via email. You have my address in the lower right corner. Thank you, everybody, for your warm words of appreciation for the presentation. I try to make it simple and I had an amazing teacher whose advice was keep it simple. Um, And I'm pretty sure this presentation is recorded, and in the next few days, our host, the Spooky2 team, will put a link for it so you can review it, you can share it with other people. Okay, let's see. How can I use scalar in agriculture? It is a little bit more difficult. I didn't try it myself, but I don't see a problem. The distance between the two boxes can be as big as physically possible. Uh, Bigger the distance between the leads, bigger will be the size and the strength of the scalar field. The only problem will be a link cable. Some people try to use earth as a link cable. Uh, I didn't try it myself, but I see it feasible since even Tesla used Earth as a conductive medium. Uh, okay, coupon code, I already said. Yeah, can we use devices in the field? As I said, yes, you can. Uh, I advise to use it as to stay without devices as more as possible. But if you have to work or do other stuff while in the field, of course you can use them. When using the audio mode, where do we upload the programs to our phone, and what programs are available? Um, there are many sources of programs, the audio programs. You can go on different websites that are specialized in healing music. I don't have now my fingertips. I have a few sites like that. Some of them are giving some songs free. Some other you have to pay for them. But this music is designed to target different things, like even like a couple of years ago, I knew a site that were promoting some music that was able to help with healing COVID patients. So look up for it, and you'll find this. Also, you can use any Tibetan music that is very soothing and relaxing in the same time. Um, eh, you can use chakra tones. There is a lot of places where you can find songs and chants for these tones. I sleep in the scalar field every night and I use the JX with biofeedback results. How frequently do you suggest to redo the biofeedback? Um, I suggest you redo it at least once a week, because uh, our body changes for two reasons. We face new challenges on one hand, and on the other hand, the Spooky2 scalar you are sleeping in, it's helping improving your health, improve your health. So uh, because of this, the condition change and the frequencies that you used last week may not be significant the next week. uh, it will not be harmful for sure, but they may not be useful. Uh, I would say you can do it as frequent as daily, but it is not practical. I would say between 4 and 7 days, it will be a good approach. I have a lot of questions. I send you an email, Dorinel, if that's okay. As I said, if you don't find any information you need on the websites and on the Facebook groups, please email me. I will do my best to answer. You may allow the 24 hours or so for a reply. I'm not always on my computer. No problem shipping from China. No, I didn't have any problems receiving things from China. But I'm in Canada. I don't think US is different. How would you describe the scalar energy field to a newbie? Let's see if I understand the question. Uh, So I already talked about this scalar. It's not easy to describe it in a few words. If the person is familiar with Reiki, Qigong, and other natural healing methods, I would say it's a type of energy that is similar to the this energy healing coming from a Reiki master or from a Qigong practitioner. Uh, but if the person doesn't have any idea about this, I would just say it's a type of energy that uh, helps the body at all the level. There is no level that it doesn't touch. As you saw, like blood, cell level, everything, DNA level, everything is uh, um, touched by this and improved by this energy. We need a smaller version of Scalar. Traveling with those suitcases are uncomfortable. Yeah, this doesn't depend on me. our host can reply to this question, but I can tell you that the smaller the antenna is, the smaller will be the size of the field. So uh, probably you can have something local, but not something general for the full body. I don't know if they have the intention to build in the future something like this. How long is the cable from the sender to the receiver? Um, this cable can be uh, any any length. There is no limit. The scalar unit comes with a, I think, standard 12 feet cable, but you can buy 32 and 64 feet cables, and you can buy also extender that can, I showed you in the presentation, you can connect together two cables, the original cable with the extension. So this way you can, or alternatively you can, I did this for one of my friends. You buy a 14 gauge braided cable, and you buy 4 millimeter banana jacks, and you can build it custom any distance you want, hundreds of feet. What is the average time frame for running a scalar sessions? Um, I, in my experience, uh, I would say that in order to feel a difference, you have to stay there at least 40 minutes to 1 hour. But if you stay, let's say, only 20 minutes, still will have a healing effect on your body. On the upper range, there is no limit. You can use it continuously, 24 hours, 7 days a week, and it will be no problem. Um, you will not get any like fatigue type of effect from staying in the uh, scalar field. Like in my case, the time would be between, the minimum was like 20 minutes, and the maximum was like days in a row, being continually in the field when I had it in a, when my wife and I had it in a bedroom. Uh, an interesting question, maybe I wasn't very clear. Will the metal in the bed cause it not to work? The answer is no. It will work. Uh, the only problem is uh, the field will be diminished as intensity if there is a big metal piece in front, I would say in the proximity, uh, 8 to 12 inches from the lid of the boxes. You can try it yourself. Take one of those metallic serving plates, and after you tune the units, you bring it closer to you bring the plate closer, and then you move it, and you'll see up to some point there is no difference. When it comes very close to the lid, then the light will diminish on both receiver and transmitter. um, the only thing that you have to be a little bit careful is not to have the link cable too close, uh, to the metal bed frame. Not close enough, I would say, in the range of 4 to 6 inches. Um, I noticed a difference if it's very close to a piece of metal, a big piece of metal, and compared to when it's farther apart from that metal. Keep in mind that the electromagnetic field decreases with the square of the distance. So if the distance is twice bigger, the intensity will diminish with 4 times. So it's the same thing. This is the kind of influence that a piece of metal has on a cable. A piece of metal of 2 inch will influence 4 times more than a piece of metal of 4 inch from the cable. I hope I answered the question. Can you put the link cable on the reinforced concrete floor? uh, is the same thing. We said to stay far from concrete floors or walls because they have metal reinforcement. The thing is, uh, the floor itself, probably in the range of 8 to 12, probably in the range of 8 inches, has the reinforcement somewhere in the middle. So you still have about 4 inches in top of cement in top of it, and also you have all the subfloor and the flooring materials, which will add another inch at least. So I would see there is not that bad, but if it's possible, try to put it above the floor a few inches. It will help, I'm sure. Okay. I have a question here. Is there a radionic way to using scalar? Could we transmit healing frequency to a photo? This is a very interesting subject, and the answer is yes or no or maybe. Depends, and I will explain this. Uh, First, uh, only the magnetic scalar field can imprint information on something. Could be photo, could be a sample of the DNA of somebody else. Um, and this is happening only if you put that sample or that photo on the uh, transmitter coil, which is the output coil. Uh, Another thing is the photo by itself, if it's printed, regardless the way it's printed, doesn't have much value. But a lot of people argue that if the photo is Polaroid type, it contains the photons from the person who is in the image. So in this case, it will be some influence on the photo. Now, if a photo is placed on in the field, nothing will happen because the scalar field between the two leads is electric scalar field, and this electric scalar field does not have the ability to transmit information to DNA by itself. So because there is no possibility to transmit it to DNA, there is no quantum entanglement between the photo and the person that appears in the photo. This is not a regular answer. I will say, I will tell you now why I said yes and maybe. Uh, as a Reiki master, I am often doing distant treatment, and I use a photo, or not even that, could be only a note with the person name and some other small details, could be address forms or whatever. Or if I know the person, I don't even need that. Uh, and I am able to transmit energy to that person. So if the user of the scalar places the photo in the scalar field and is able somehow to intentionally connect that photo with, entangle it with the person itself, then the action on the photo will be reflected on a person. So, but without this, on a regular basis, I would say the answer is no. Yeah, hard to explain this too. I don't know if I was able to make myself understood. How does metal springs in the bed mattress affect the scalar treatment? It doesn't affect. As I said, the scalar field penetrate any type of material, so it's not a problem. The only problem with the metal is the proximity to the antenna in transmitter or receiver, or to the link cable. Any other metal in the field doesn't interfere with the scalar field. Okay, when I tune the transmitter anti-clockwise, the receiver lights up at 4.70. Can I reverse it to 5 or 6 or 7 to get the results? Um, you may need to go back and review the little video clip that I made with the method of tuning. There are two tuning points. The first one, the higher frequency one, is the scalar field tuning point. The lower frequency is the EMF tuning point. You don't want this one. So if you start from 8 megahertz and you turn the button counterclockwise, you go you stop in the moment you have the maximum intensity. If you see you pass it, go just a little bit back and stay on the maximum, the first maximum, down from 8 megahertz. Usually for short distances it's about 6 megahertz. For longer distances it's in the range of 5 point something. I have it in my living room, as I said. I would say it's 25 feet apart, I would say, maybe a little bit more. And uh, I have the resonance at 5.6 to 5.9, depending on the temperature, humidity. Like in the summer, I had more like 5.9. Now that the weather is a bit drier and colder, I have it around 5.6. So, but if your distance is bigger than that, can be lower than that, can be in the high 4 megahertz. 4.6, it's plausible. Does the matter with spin affect the scalar? I said no. Yes, what to? Um, May I ask what to order to extend the distance of the scalar box to 20 meters? As I said, if you go on Spooky2 Mall website and you look for all products, or you'll see they have two different link extension cables. You have a 32 feet and a 64 feet, which is about 20 meters. And more than that, you can use one of those small connectors. It's about $1 or less, and you can put two cables together, so you can go even further than that. Harmony does not show in Spooky2 Mall. Where can I buy it from? This is a question for the Spooky2 team. I don't know. When I first tried the pure scalar in the living room, I experienced pressure in the head, which decreased over time. That this means anything. It was tuned at 5. Um, yeah, 5 sounds like a good 5 point something. Uh, sounds like a good frequency for the living room. Uh, the pressure in your head that you experience could be a result, like a health reaction. So a way of your body to um, to show it detoxifies. Uh, and since then you don't have it anymore, this means that everything is good. Can you use this scalar for distance healing via Zoom or similar? As I explained with the photo, I don't think you can do it unless if you are Reiki or Qigong master. You are staying yourself in a scalar room. Like if I would do this, I would be able to transmit that scalar energy to a person via Zoom. But this is not the case for everybody. Somebody said, but the receiver does not get the signal, even though I see the brightest from the transmitter. Is that okay? Uh, Normally, you should be able to see light on the receiver. If you do the tuning correctly, uh, but no light doesn't necessarily means it's not there is no scalar field, because you need to go over a certain voltage in order to turn on an LED. So maybe the scalar field it's not that strong, but for sure it's still there if you can tune it on the transmitter. Are you saying that if the transmitter and the receiver are far apart, then the number of the tuning is lower? Yes, this is the case in my experience. Further, I placed the two boxes lower frequency tuning frequency I found. Can husband and wife sleep in between the scalar boxes at night? My answer is yes. I did this even when my wife had the accident, and nothing bad happened to me because of that. Uh, there are two aspects to this. One of them is um, your body has an energetic field by itself. When you are sleeping in the same bed with your partner, wife or husband, your aura interfere, even if the bodies don't touch each other. Because of this, a certain level of information will be transferred between the two of you, but this will not create any negative impact on your bodies. Actually, on the contrary, it has a beneficial effect. The note that I put that if one of them has a very severe health problem, I said cancer, it's better not to sleep in the same or not to stay in the same scalar field. Um, it's not that because the healthy person will get cancer, is that the healthy person might get some of the effects of the cancer on their body without having effectively the cancer. So the answer of the question, yes, if both are relatively healthy, no, if one of them has cancer. Dorinel, what you are saying doesn't apply if you are running a remote scalar mode with DNA collected from various family members, correct? Yes, correct. We are talking about two different things. As I said, the only way to transmit remote is through quantum entanglement. The quantum entanglement happens between the DNA in the sample and the DNA in the person. So if the sample is in the remote, the magnetic scalar field created there will imprint the information on the DNA on the sample. The sample itself, the DNA in the sample is quantum entangled with the DNA in the person and will transfer that information. This way, the information that comes from the magnetic scalar field to the through the sample to the person functions, and the person will receive that information and his body will use it. If you have different people, you may have as many as you can. They say you can put 50 sample. I never tried 50 sample, but I have more than a dozen with my family members, and I'm running programs, general programs for healing or detox programs for everybody. And there wasn't any problem so far in the last couple of years since I started using it. So it's not the same thing. I'm talking in the first case, we are talking the influence of the cancerous cell in the sick person. It will be somehow it will somehow influence the healthy person, not by transmitting the cancer, but transmitting some of the effects of the cancer. In the other case, we are talking about different samples from different people. They receive the same information from the same source, but they don't communicate between them. And this information is transmitted to to each individual that have the samples in the remote. So the answer is no. The DNA collected from various family members will not be influenced by the others. Not sure if my casting got missed. Probably I have my two scalar boxing, each on a metal tray. What is on wheels? That is on wheels. Will the metal under the box interfere with the function? Um, I would say in this case, the metal is perpendicular to the antenna, and also I don't know how close the link cable is to the tray. So these are two different components, but I would say most probably the metal tray has an influence. I don't know how much. It's impossible to say this without measuring things, but uh, in your place, I would try to replace the metal cards with the wooden ones, and this is what I have, and it works perfect. Okay, we are approaching the 2 hours limit for our session. So, is there any other question I could answer in the next few minutes? Um, yes, if you still get a good light, it means yeah, they are functioning. You have a scalar field. Uh, what I'm saying that may not be the optimum, may not be the maximum that you can get without having the boxes on metal. Scalar digitizer, I will not talk about this. It's a pretty extensive subject, and in the next few minutes that I have left, I will not be able to answer this question. Um, Again, somebody asked about a specific uh, question about kidney um, problem. This is a technical seminar. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a medical professional, so I cannot give you any advice regarding any specific problems that you may have. Somebody asked how big would be the container. Uh, I personally use a big bottle, 750 milliliter or even 1 liter bottle of water. You can use if you have one of those French press glass containers. It's very good size wise to be placed there. Um, some people use plastic containers, bigger jugs, 1 gallon or so. I'm not sure it's the best way to do it, but also it's been experimented with the fact that if you make structured water with, let's say, a glass or more, and then you pour that glass in a jar of unstructured water, the all water will become structured. So my advice: use up to 1 liter container, place it on the output coil of the transmitter, and then if you want it, uh, you can put it in a bigger container. But I don't see the need. You can in order to imprint one glass, like 3 minutes are enough. If you want to imprint a liter, I would say 10 to 12 minutes would be enough to imprint 1 liter of water. So why would you need to place a bigger container? You can just put that one and put another container, another battery, and another battery, one after the other, and you can make as much water that you want. I do put Scalar. I have not tried the Rife with it. Would it be a shock to use the Rife with the Scalar running a Canada program running overnight? No, I don't see a problem with this. As I said, I didn't try this type of programs, but I tried programs like Song of the Spine, Chakra Balance, and micronutrients and things like this on a Rife, and it was perfect. Imprinting jewelry, paper, or plastic cards. How to do it? Um, I don't have any information about imprinting jewelry or paper or plastic cards. I don't have an answer to this. Okay, it's already 10 o'clock here in Ontario, Canada, and the 2 hour has passed. And I thank you everybody for attending this seminar, for giving me the opportunity to talk about a subject that I love. uh, I thank everybody for their questions, for their interest they showed in the scalar Spooky2 scalar system, and also many thanks to everybody who showed appreciation for my presentation. As I said, after uh, searching all this information that are available out there, if you don't find answer, uh, please feel free um, uh, to contact me via email. So I will have to tell you good night or good morning, depending where you are in the world, and have a nice sleep or have a nice day in front of you. Uh, Thank you again, and see you next time. And thank you, Spooky2 team. Thank you, Yura, for all your helps and with the comments and everything.